Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode. In this episode, we are looking at Napalm support metrics. So, we are looking at the low level APIs that are supported by Napalm for various network devices. So, as you can see on the Napalm documentation page, we have EOS, we have iOS, we have iOS XR, we have or Netconf for iOS XR, then we have Juniper, then we have Nexus OS. So in this episode, we are looking at the first metrics for Napalm, which is the Get App, which basically shows the app table for a network device. And this is the API that you're going to use on Napalm. And as you can see, it's supported by Cisco iOS. Now in GNS3, I have a simple topology over here. I have R1. It has connection to R4, R3, and then R2 on this multi-access segment. So the cloud here is for my remote management, as I showed in my previous episodes, so that I can connect to my R1. Now let's check the terminal. So this is R1, and as you can see, show IP interface brief shows me the IP address assigned to this particular router. 10.10 is the management interface connecting to my host PC. And then this is the IP address. That's R1 is connecting to the other routers on the multi-access segment. So on R4, show IP interface brief shows me that I have 16.2. On R3, show IP app interface brief. Sorry, show IP interface brief shows me the IP for R3, and on R2, show IP interface brief shows me the IP on R2. Now, what I did was I used this command to hit the broadcast for that particular subnet connecting to R2, R3, and R4. That's what I did. Here's the command. So I was hitting the broadcast for that particular subnet so that I can learn all the IP addresses on that multi-access segment. So when I run show IP app, I get to see the app on R1 and all the IP addresses and the MAC addresses that it has resolved to. Good. So now back to my code. I have a very simple code over here. And then what you're going to do first is that we're going to import Napalm from Napalm. That's the automation library that we are using. We are importing the get network driver. Okay, and then the get network driver, we are going to create an object. So the object is iOS, and then we store the object in this variable. And now we also create a variable which will use the network object to connect to the device. And now we open a connection to the device, and now we run the API. So the network net device underscore output is a variable which is going to save this output. Remember, this net device has this object in it. Is going to initiate the connection here. So here is where the connection is going to be initiated. Okay, and then net device is the variable which will store this output into this variable. And then before we manipulate the data, we also check the type of um, data type that we have for this particular output. Then we close the connection. So I'm going to minimize it. I'm going to open my terminal. Already you can see I have some scripts already run. So I'm going to close it. And I'm going to, once again, let me go over. So as you can see, it's right over here, very simple script. And I'm going to run the script. Now let me pull this up. And as you can see, it's a list. So the data returned from this command, the get app, is a list. For a list, that means we can iterate over the items in the list. Okay, so what I can do is that I can printing output to screen. What I can do is that print into bracket net device output. Okay, so I will copy that one below. Now we have a new script. So we are going to print the output that is being stored in this particular variable. I'm going to run the script again. And as you can see, the output is not that nice. It's a bit more of machine readable, not human readable. So what I can also do is that I can use a for loop. So hash iterating over a list. So I'm going to comment this one out. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a for loop. So for I in net device, let's call output print I. So I'm going to save it and I'm going to run the script again. And I'll just compare the two outputs. Oh, sorry. Let me check this one again. Oh, I used one instead. Okay. I'm going to run the script again. And as you can see now this is the same data that we had over here. But now we used a for loop to iterate over the data to print it this way. Now this is not the best way to sample your data or to get your data. So what we can also do is that we can import JSON to format the data. So importing JSON. So import JSON. And what we can do with the data is that for this output, and run it as so. I'll create a new one here. Formatting using JSON. What we can also do is that we can create a variable format underscore output equals so this is the data that we have, net device. No, before that we use the JSON dot dumps. Then what do we have here? What value are we passing? We are passing the net device dot output. Let's go output, comma. Then we sort the values by index of 4. And also, okay, so we sort the value to be true. Sort keys true. And then we can also create, it has a lot of methods to use, but then we can also use, what else can we use? We can also have indentation of 4. Okay, so let's see how that goes through. It's not supposed to be capitals, so this is good. So now what we can do is that, let me remove this breakpoint. We can check the type, so type of format output to see the data that we have over there. So I'll clear this space. Okay, so let me comment this one out. Comment. So now We're going to compare the output of this. First, we had a list, and now we're going to check what we have over here. I'm going to run the script again. And now what do we have? Have a class list. Am I seeing the right thing? Oh, sorry. Clear. Okay, so let me check the script again. We have type. Oh, okay. So print type of format output. So now I'm going to run the script again. So now we have two different data types. We have string for the last one. Then we have a list for this one. So now that we have our data formatted with JSON, it's time to print what we have in the new output. What we can do is that we can just run print format output, and I'll comment this one out, and I'll open this one. I'll also open this one so we can compare all the outputs that we have. Okay, so I'm going to run the script again. I'm going to clear the screen. So I'm going to run the script. Now let's see the kind of data that we will get. So now this is more readable. You see, the first one was a class of, it's a list class, which is a data type that we had over here, not quite readable or not well formatted. But the next one is a string, and then the string has been formatted using the JSON. And now you can see this is very nice. On this interface, you have this, and you have all of the details that we need over here in the well formatted output. So in subsequent videos, we are going to use the JSON to format our output to make it more human readable. Thank you for watching this video, and see you in my next video. I think I have to clear this. Bye bye.